Hey everyone, welcome back to Learn English Buddy.
Hey guys, glad you're here.
So, let me ask you something right away. Have you ever said something in English that was technically correct, but still felt kind of weird when it came out of your mouth?
Oh, that feeling is so real.
Right? Like, the grammar is fine, the vocabulary is fine, maybe the other person even understands you, but still, inside you're thinking, why did that sound so awkward?
Yeah, and that can be one of the most frustrating parts of learning English because it makes you feel like, wait, I studied this, I know these words, so why do I still sound off?
Exactly. And I think a lot of English learners know that feeling. It's not always that people can't understand you. Sometimes they can. But you still don't sound like the version of yourself you want to sound like.
That is such a good way to say it. You don't sound like yourself yet.
Yeah. So today, that's what we're talking about. Why you can know a lot of English and still sound kind of weird when you speak it.
And more importantly, how to fix it.
Yes, because this really is fixable.
Totally fixable.
And I'm glad we're doing this topic, because I think a lot of learners secretly assume the problem is just their accent,
Yep, and that's usually not the real problem.
which is honestly kind of a relief.
It really is, because first of all, everybody has an accent. Literally everybody. You, me, every native speaker, every non-native speaker, everybody. So having an accent is not the issue.
Right. The goal is not to erase who you are.
Exactly. The real issue most of the time is something deeper. It's not just the words you choose, it's not even only your pronunciation, it's the music of the language.
Ooh, I like that already.
Yeah, because that's really what it is. Every language has music, it has patterns, it has movement. And when your English sounds weird, a lot of the time it's because the words are right, but the music is off.
That makes so much sense. So when people say, your English is correct, but it sounds unnatural, what they often mean is the music doesn't sound English yet.
Exactly, that's it.
Okay, so break that down for us in a normal human way. When you say the music of English, what are we actually talking about?
Three big things: intonation, stress, and rhythm.
Okay, so how the voice moves, which words get the energy, and how the whole sentence flows.
Yes, exactly.
All right, let's start with intonation, because I hear that word a lot, but I think people still don't always know what it really means.
Totally. Intonation is basically the rise and fall of your voice. It's the melody of a sentence. It's how your voice moves when you speak.
So, not just what word you say, but how your voice travels through the sentence.
Exactly. And intonation carries emotion. It shows interest, surprise, confidence, uncertainty, politeness, sarcasm, all of that.
Which is kind of wild when you think about it, because it means two people can say the exact same words and sound completely different.
Yes, same words, totally different meaning.
Give me an example.
Sure, take the words, you're coming. If I say, you're coming, with falling intonation, it sounds like a statement. I'm telling you something. But if I say, you're coming, with rising intonation, now it sounds like a question. Maybe I'm checking, or maybe I'm surprised.
Same words, but now the listener hears a completely different intention.
Exactly, and that's the point. Intonation tells people how to read your meaning, not just your grammar.
That's really good because I think that's where a lot of learners get confused. They think, but I said the right sentence.
Right, and they did. The sentence was right, but the listener's reacting to more than the sentence. They're reacting to the voice.
Which explains why someone can sound correct and still sound a little off.
Exactly. Here's another super real example. Imagine you say to someone, good to see you. If you say it with warmth and natural movement, like, good to see you,
it sounds friendly. It sounds real. But if you say the exact same words in a flat voice, good to see you, it can sound cold or distant or like you don't really mean it.
Oof, yeah, that's such a real-life problem.
It really is, because maybe you are trying to sound warm and friendly, but the other person hears something kind of stiff or awkward.
And that's such a painful experience as a learner because then you start thinking, what did I do wrong?
Exactly. And sometimes the answer is not grammar. Sometimes the answer is intonation.
That's huge.
It is. And this is also why flat intonation can accidentally make you sound bored, unsure, cold, or sometimes even rude, even when that's not your personality at all.
Which is kind of sad, honestly. You may be warm, expressive, funny in your own language, and then in English, you suddenly sound like you don't care.
Exactly. Your real personality gets lost in the delivery.
Okay, that line is so important. Your personality gets lost in the delivery.
Yeah, and that's why this matters. This isn't about sounding fancy, it's about sounding alive.
Wow, yeah.
Another classic example is sarcasm. Take the phrase, that's great. If I say it sincerely, that's great. It sounds warm and normal. But if I say, that's great,
Oh, yeah, totally different.
completely different. Same words, different music. And now the real meaning changes.
So, intonation is doing a lot more emotional work than learners realize.
Yes, a lot more.
Okay, so if someone wants to start sounding more natural, should intonation be one of the first things they notice?
Definitely. Not because it's the only thing, but because it changes how people feel when they hear you.
And what's a simple way to practice it?
First, stop listening only for words. Start listening for melody. When you watch a show or listen to a podcast, ask yourself, where did the voice go up? Where did it go down? Where did it sound warm? Where did it sound finished?
I like that. It makes listening more active.
Exactly. And then the next step is exaggerate. Really, when you practice, be dramatic. Overdo it. It'll feel weird, but that's actually how you start building the habit.
So if I'm practicing a question, I shouldn't say it in this tiny, careful way. I should actually lean into it.
Yes, give your voice shape.
I love that. Give your voice shape.
All right, now the second big thing is stress.
This one feels huge.
It is huge. Honestly, if somebody asked me what's one of the biggest reasons English learners sound unnatural, stress would be near the top of the list. Because English is a language where some words get more weight than others.
So not every word is equally important.
Exactly, and that's a very big deal. In natural English, we don't hit every word with the same energy. We stress the important words and we relax the unimportant ones.
And when learners give every word the same weight,
They often sound robotic.
right, like they're reading, not speaking. Can you give an example?
Yeah, let's start with a word level example. The word present.
Good one.
If I say, I got a present, stress on the first syllable, it's a noun, a gift, right. But if I say, I want to present this idea, now it's a verb.
Same letters, different stress, different meaning. That's such a clean example.
Yeah, and that's just one word. But sentence stress is even more powerful because that can change the meaning of a whole idea.
Okay, I love this part.
All right, listen to this sentence. I didn't say he stole the money. Same sentence every time, but if I stress a different word, the meaning changes. I didn't say he stole the money.
So maybe someone else said it.
Exactly. Now listen, I didn't say he stole the money.
Meaning maybe you implied it or wrote it, but you didn't actually say it.
Right. Now this one, I didn't say he stole the money.
So maybe he borrowed it or took it some other way.
Exactly. And then, I didn't say he stole the money.
Meaning he stole something else.
Yep, same words, different focus, different meaning every time.
That is such a powerful reminder that speaking naturally is not just pronunciation. It's thought, it's emphasis, it's knowing what matters most in the sentence.
That's exactly it. Good speakers don't just say sentences, they guide attention.
Ooh, that's good. So if a learner is saying every word with equal stress, they're not guiding the listener at all.
Right, the listener has to work harder to figure out what the important part is.
which is probably one reason some people sound technically correct, but still hard to follow.
Exactly. They're not giving the sentence a shape. They're not highlighting the message.
Okay, so how do you practice stress without overthinking every sentence?
A really simple question helps. What's the key word here?
Just one keyword?
Sometimes one, sometimes two, but usually there's a center of gravity in the sentence. Ask yourself, what am I really trying to say? Then let that word carry more energy.
So instead of saying, I went to the store after work, like every word matters equally,
You might naturally stress store and work. I went to the store after work.
right, and suddenly it sounds more alive.
Exactly, because now the listener can feel where the message is.
That's really helpful.
And honestly, this is one reason native speech can sound clearer even when it sounds faster.
Wait, say more about that.
Yeah, a lot of learners think native speakers are easy to understand because they pronounce everything perfectly. But that's not really it. Native speakers are often easier to follow because they highlight the important parts really clearly.
Oh, so clarity doesn't come from saying every word strongly.
Right. It often comes from not saying every word strongly.
That is such a good point.
All right, now let's talk about rhythm.
Yes, because this is the part that makes native speakers sound fast.
Too fast sometimes.
Honestly, sometimes native speakers sound like they swallowed half the sentence.
They kind of did. But seriously, rhythm is about how English flows. Native speakers usually do not pronounce every word separately like little blocks. We connect things, we reduce things, we chunk things together.
Right, we don't speak one word at a time.
Exactly, we speak in thought groups.
Okay, make that practical for us. What does connected speech actually sound like?
A simple example is linking. If one word ends in a consonant and the next word starts with a vowel, they often connect. So an apple becomes an apple.
Not an apple.
Right. Or turn it off becomes turn it off.
Yeah, that's so true.
And then you have reductions. This is huge in spoken English. We don't always fully pronounce every little word the way it appears in writing.
Like going to.
Exactly. In real speech, going to often becomes gonna. Want to becomes wanna. Got to becomes gotta.
And that's not lazy in a bad way, that's just normal spoken English.
Exactly. It's natural. And this is where a lot of learners get stuck because they're trying so hard to sound correct that they pronounce everything too carefully.
Which sounds ironic, but it's true. Being too careful can actually make you sound less natural.
Yep. If you say, I am going to go to the store in full careful textbook mode every single time,
It sounds a little stiff.
right, in real conversation, it's more like, I'm gonna go to the store.
Way smoother.
Much smoother.
So rhythm is not only about speed, it's about flow.
Yes, exactly. It's about flow. Natural English has strong parts and weak parts. Some syllables are clear and strong, others get lighter, shorter, softer.
Which brings us to that famous sound, the schwa.
Yes, the little sound that's everywhere.
The most important boring sound in English.
Exactly. Super boring, super important. A lot of unstressed syllables in English reduce to that soft sound. And once you start hearing it, you realize it's everywhere.
So instead of trying to pronounce every syllable perfectly, learners should start noticing which sounds naturally relax.
Yes, and that's a huge step because natural speech is not perfect pronunciation all the time. It's efficient pronunciation.
Efficient pronunciation. That's such a good phrase.
Thanks. And really, that's what native speech sounds like. Efficient. Not sloppy, just efficient.
Okay, I want to do something practical here because I think this is where listeners can really feel the difference.
Let's do it.
All right, give me a sentence.
Okay, say, I'm really happy to be here.
All right. I'm really happy to be here.
Good. The words are perfect. Now say it like you actually mean it. Give it feeling. Give it stress.
I'm really happy to be here.
Yes, already way better.
Wow, yeah, I can hear the difference.
Exactly, same sentence, but now it sounds human.
Okay, do another one.
Say, are you coming with us?
Are you coming with us?
Good. Now make it sound like a real question you're asking a friend at the door.
Are you coming with us?
There it is.
That actually changes everything.
It really does. And this is why people sometimes sound weird in English even when they know a lot. They've learned the sentence, but they haven't learned the sound life inside the sentence.
That phrase is so good. The sound life inside the sentence.
Yeah, because a sentence on paper is not the whole thing. Real speech has movement. Real speech has weight. Real speech has intention.
And I think that's such an important mindset shift. The goal isn't just say correct English. The goal is say it in a way that sounds real. So if someone listening right now is thinking, okay, I get it. My problem may not be my accent, it may be the music. What should they do first?
First, stop trying to fix everything at once.
Thank you. That is always the answer.
It really is. If you try to improve intonation, stress, rhythm, connected speech, and pronunciation all at the same time, your brain's just gonna panic.
Right. You'll end up speaking less, not more.
Exactly. So pick one thing for 1 week.
Just one?
Just one. Maybe this week, you only focus on intonation. That's it. When you listen to English, notice where the voice rises and falls. Then maybe next week, you focus on stress, which words are carrying the sentence.
That feels way more manageable.
It is. And then after that, start shadowing.
I love shadowing.
Same. Shadowing is one of the best things you can do for natural speech.
Explain it in the simplest way possible.
Sure. Find a short clip of a native speaker 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds. Listen once. Then play it again and speak along with it at the same time.
Like becoming the speaker's shadow.
Exactly. Don't just copy the words, copy the melody, the rhythm, the stress, the energy, the pauses, the whole package.
And honestly, this is where people need to let go of embarrassment.
100%. You have to be willing to sound a little dramatic, a little silly, a little over the top when you practice.
Because that exaggerated practice is what helps your mouth and ears reset.
Exactly. And here's something I really want listeners to hear. Natural speaking does not come only from understanding English. It comes from physically practicing English as sound.
That is so important.
You can understand hundreds of hours of English and still not sound natural if you never practice the music out loud.
Right. Listening helps, but imitation changes you.
Beautifully said.
Thank you. Another great habit is recording yourself.
Painful, but helpful.
Very painful, very helpful.
Nobody likes hearing their own voice.
Nobody, but it works.
Record yourself saying a short sentence, then compare it to the native version. Not to judge yourself, just to notice. Where am I too flat? Where am I stressing the wrong word? Where am I separating words too much?
That kind of awareness is huge.
It is. Because once you can hear the gap, you can actually improve it.
Okay, I want to say something that I think a lot of learners need to hear. Sounding natural in English is not about becoming fake. It's not about becoming someone else.
Yes, I'm so glad you said that.
It's really about making your English sound more alive, more connected, more expressive, more like you.
Exactly. This is not about losing your identity. It's about gaining control.
Wow, yeah.
You don't need to become a different person. You just want your spoken English to actually carry your personality.
Because a lot of learners are already funny, warm, thoughtful, expressive people. But none of that comes through if the speech is too flat or too careful.
Exactly. The real goal is not sound native. The real goal is sound natural.
That distinction matters so much.
It really does.
So let's recap this in the cleanest way possible. If your English sounds weird, the problem usually is not just your accent.
Right. It's often the music.
Intonation, how your voice rises and falls.
Stress, which words get the energy.
Rhythm, how English flows together instead of sounding like separate blocks.
And the fix is not panic. The fix is awareness, imitation, and focused practice.
One feature at a time.
One feature at a time.
I love that.
Me too.
And honestly, I think this is good news.
It is good news.
Because if the problem were you just don't have the right voice, that would feel hopeless. But if the problem is you haven't learned the music yet,
Then that means you can learn it. And slowly, little by little, your English starts sounding less stiff, less translated, less careful, and more real,
more like you.
more like you.
All right, before we go, let's leave everyone with one simple challenge for this week.
Love it.
Pick one short clip from a podcast, YouTube video, or show, just one, and shadow it every day for a few minutes.
Don't analyze it forever. Don't try to master everything. Just copy the music.
Copy the music. That's the phrase.
That's the phrase.
And if today's episode made you realize, oh, this is why I sound weird in English, first of all, you are definitely not alone.
Not even close.
And second, that means you're already one step closer to fixing it.
Exactly. Awareness changes everything.
All right, that's all for today.
Thanks for hanging out with us.
And remember, maybe you don't sound weird because your English is bad.
Maybe you just haven't learned the music yet.
See you next time on Learn English Buddy.
See you next time.